Hey, it's Father Taylor, and it's a beautiful Friday, July 1st, which means it's time for our weekly eBlast. So, great news coming up this week for Sunday. As you know, just a reminder, our church services for July continue to be at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock for service in July, and that service is like an hour, 10 hour, 15 minutes. So it's not a whole lot of time, but hopefully we'll get some more time afterwards to be able to work on relationships and community. That is such an important thing, more important today, our sense of community. I think for people here in the Farmington Valley in our country, never has it been more important in our lifetimes for developing a sense of community. And community is about people and relationships and being together. And the reason we come together is to be around Jesus. But the gift that Jesus gives us is not only himself and his life, but life together. So Sunday, 9 o'clock is our time for service. And here's the bonus extra good news. Thanks to Kathy Oakes, our junior warden, who has just done a tremendous amount of work. So I don't have the paperwork here, but she has done, in the last couple of years, we have basically been, all of our stuff has timed out. Our roof has timed out, and some of our air handlers have timed out. You know, they all have kind of a life expectancy, but she's been at work putting everything back together. And the latest that she has put back together with the help of Dave Zamaris has been, she's been able to get our air conditioners fixed. Now, we were told, as I told you last week, we were told by our folks that really do this stuff for us, we kind of contracted with, they're great people. But they gave us the story that basically the repairs, and they were severe, but those repairs were going to be about the same cost as replacement. So we're trying to figure out, do we just get a quote? Do we start thinking about replacing these? Well, Dave knew a guy who came out and does this stuff too, and they gave us a second opinion. And the repairs are not forever repairs. I mean, they said it'll get us through the next couple of years. But bottom line is Sunday, air conditioning. How about that? So we have air conditioning for our Sunday service. So that'll be great. So Sunday at 9 o'clock, followed by, we agreed our service a little bit shorter, but the idea is that we have more time for community. So that's what we got coming up on Sunday. Now, it is with a heavy heart that I do need to announce to you that one of the most outstanding and influential, simply by his personal relationships and prayerfulness and godliness, Alex Bain died just yesterday, Thursday. Alex had been declining in health since about the time of shortly after Sonia's death. And he had moved. There were some really great ideas. He was moved to a facility very close to where his son and daughter-in-law live. So they were able to see him. But, his health just really took a bad turn. And so he has gone to be with the Lord. Now, that's sad. The loss of anyone we've loved comes with sadness. And if you've been to any funeral that I've done, at the very beginning, I talk about the importance and necessity of being straight up about our grief and why we need to grieve together. So there is loss and there is sadness. I mean, the two of them together, some of the two most exceptional stand-up people in anybody's congregation, not because, of like they bought a wing of the church or something, but just of like incredibly great Christian people they were and how fun they were to be around. Can't put enough emphasis on how funny the two of them were together, and particularly how funny Alex could be. It was a very dry humor that in his last years here at some facilities, the folks that worked there misunderstood him oftentimes because he had that dry sense of humor and they weren't sure what he meant. But, the guy was very funny, quite accomplished in his field of architecture, but an outstanding contributor. He was on the Meadowbrook ministry. He was perhaps the longest serving person in the Emmaus ministry. He developed his own way of playing some percussion instruments, and he was involved in our contemporary worship. He was a part of men's groups and Bible studies. He was just a very wise and deeply Christian man who could also had a great sense of humor. It's a great combination. Now, while that's a great loss for all of us, and particularly for his family, I want to remind you that the great consolation, it isn't when we die, isn't just that we get to like see people we have known and loved in the past. Well, it's a wonderful thing that he in heaven, in the presence of God, can be there with Sonia. But I got to tell you, I got to remind you what the major attraction is once you get there. It's Jesus. It's like the scriptures say that what's up there is going to be down here, in a place where you won't need the sun anymore, because the light in the midst of all of us is the Lamb of God. I mean, the very creator of all things, to be in God's presence. This is the presence that, that when Moses said, show me your face, God said you couldn't handle it, but now to be in that kind of, what would you call it, unfiltered presence of God and be able to take in all of that. It's God being eternal means that that's kind of like an experience that never grows old. Imagine the sense of being in the sense of awe and thrill and beauty. And no matter how long you're there, it's never like boring or gets old. And so he's in the presence of the one he has worshiped and played to and prayed to and been with. And so now he is in the presence of God. And together with Sonia, they are side by side, faces directed to the Lord. So that's the consolation, that while he has physically died in this part, that as we say in the service, that death is not the end of things. That death, we move on to the next part of life. And we also believe in the resurrection, which means that Sonia and Alex will come with the Lord. And should the Lord come tomorrow, we will see Sonia and Alex with the Lord as they come to be here. And God sets heaven on earth, forever. So anyway, there's a little eschatological discussion for you too. So anyway, but there are no arrangements currently made. I'm sure they'll be coming up soon, probably within a day or so. But currently, as of when I'm making this video, we don't have any arrangement times. It just happened. So we're going to give the family all the time they need to make some arrangements. But anyway, it's a sad part. I look forward to the testimonies when we all get together and get to celebrate his life and the reminder of Sonia's life and their life together here. Alex and Sonia predate Tom Furr. They go back to the days of back when Father Frank was here. So I think that's early 80s when they first arrived here. So it's a very, what an impact they've had on so many people's lives. What beautifully well-lived lives. We should all aspire to be like Alex and Sonia. But anyway, so that's what I got for this week. Call me if you got any questions. I do have some really great reading material, stuff that's like I've been blown away over the last 48 hours. There's some stuff I've read simply about the state of God and church and everything happening right now. Some really interesting stuff. So make some time, help to put some time into build community, and we will hopefully see you at about 68 to 70 degrees on Sunday morning. Okay, thanks.